everybody! Welcome back to Dungeon of the Mad Mage. We are back from break. When we left our heroes, we had done a little bit of an excursion outside of the city to Undercliff Village, to the inn under the cliff, where the ancient copper dragon Ezrah waited for the adult silver dragon Nindeltath, and a handoff was made by the party. But as Ash's Ezrah, Bones, and Mossy returned to the city, Matashtai stayed behind to spend time with Ezrah and Nindeltath and transform the shattered remnants of Nindeltath's eggs, his children-to-be, into a creative tool for the future, hopefully for the betterment of the future, thus imbuing Matashtai with the ability to create uncommon talismans. So we're looking forward to that. Mitch, you and I have already prepped a couple of uncommon talismans, but we might not have prepped.
We definitely got to make some more.
A whole bunch, so you and I might have some things to do in the next week or two to kind of like pad out that situation. Of course, we can always continue to make common talismans as well. When you do a work day, I forgot to mention this. I'm playing with the rule set of it, so we're loosey-goosey for now. I will try to get something more solid. But I believe the idea is, now that you have advanced on this path, if you choose to make a talisman, you can make an uncommon talisman in a day, or you could make 2 common talismans in a day. The same restrictions do apply otherwise, right? Like the talismans, I believe you have a limit on the number of talismans that you can make or something like that, etc., etc. We'll hash out those specific rules to make sure that we're all buttoned up and we know exactly what your parameters are, etc., etc. So we'll go.
Okay.
So, moving onwards now to the rest of the party, as you all clamber back into the awaiting Dre, and Ashes, Ezrah, and Bones, and Mossy make their way back up the Undercliff Way and then River Street into the city of Waterdeep. Now, you are in the trade ward as you enter back into the city. Who would like to go first? You don't all have to go back to Troll Skull. In fact, it's probably likely that you guys want to be dropped off at various locations. So,
yeah,
I'll go first. I'll just hop out. See you later.
But you get through the river gate, you're on River Street, Bones is like, peace out. Mossy trundles out and looks at you, and it grinds. Me too.
Yeah, Moss, you're with me.
Okay. Mossy down onto the ground, and immediately you see people like, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Right? There's a small contingent of like City Watch that has their eyes on you immediately, and Mossy looks at you, kind of like nods, which is just kind of like a shake of his eyeball that's facing you up and down, right? Because he doesn't really have a head to nod at you. So he kind of like shakes this eyeball up and down at you, and he just kind of like sinks into the ground, and you can feel him below your feet.
I'm sure that puts them at ease.
The group of city guard that sees him do this is just immediately like, you see their eyes go from they're narrowed, and then their eyes widen, and they're like, and they're just like following you around for the rest of the day.
Not out of mind. Chill out.
Yeah, well, whatever.
So, what would you like to do, Bones?
Alright, first things first, I'm going to Eotidens.
Hey, Atadins! Oh, well, that's all the way to the fucking northward. That's a trek.
Yeah, I still hopped out just for effect, though.
You hopped out for, like, Ashes and Ezrah, if either of you stay in the Dray for very long, you actually see Bones just kind of, like, walking down the road alongside you for a little bit, and then he splits off.
Not even a comment.
I don't make eye contact.
Oh, fuck.
Wow.
Oh, God. Okay, yeah, easy enough. You make your way to Eotidens in the North Ward. Eotiden this long building set into the side of what street is he on? Is he on Whalegond or is he on Thunderstaff?
I don't know.
I don't fucking remember. He's in this long building. He's actually in the basement of this long building. So there's this long building that's set on the street, and there's a big set of double doors that leads into the actual building itself. And this building is this big kind of like department store kind of scenario. Sells just general goods and clothes and things like that out to the North Ward. Eotaden rents out the basement of this place where he does all of his enchantment work and everything like that. So you're able to, like knock on his door and he greets you and, Bones, it's been, how long has it been?
Oh, like 3 days? 4 days?
It's been 3 days. It feels almost like a fraction of a lifetime. Maybe a short lifetime.
Yeah.
It feels like it's been a while. I've missed you. You've come with new projects?
I do.
What is it? Tell me of it. Let's see. And he brings you inside and he clears off one of his workstations and, has you lay everything out, which you can do publicly if you would like to role play through, or if you would not.
No, we hand wave that part.
Hand wave that part. We'll keep it secret. So we
did talk to him about it.
Yeah, you converse with Eotaden about it. And while this is transpiring, Eotaden is a little inquisitive about where you've been and what you've been up to. Because you have been away for a handful of days. I think it's been 3 or 4 days. But even prior to that, it's been a while since you've been, I think, to see Eotaden, because haven't you been working through Eotaden with a Chotu and the box?
Yeah, for the last one, I think I did.
Yeah, so it might be a little bit more than just a few days since you've last seen Eotaden. At which sparks Eotaden's curiosity, right? Because he's like, he will note that there seems to be a marked improvement in your craftsmanship here lately. And you can tell he's subtly trying to kind of like find out why that is the case. And there's a little bit of... Roll me an insight check, actually. Plus 7. 17's pretty good. Yeah, there's a little bit of like maybe insecurity here, right? Like he's a partner, or he feels like he's been in a partnership for a little while, but now all of a sudden your craftsmanship seems to kind of like have improved, and now he's feeling maybe a little insecure about his side of that partnership,
Yeah.
So he's kind of like subtly like talking about, what have you been doing, and prying a little bit, kind of trying to figure out, right, like what's going on, why have you gotten better all of a sudden,
Because I've been practicing. What do you mean why I got better?
Okay, but in real life, or in the non-magical terms, most people take years to go from being like a journeyman to an expert to a master. You have, in just a matter of like 2.5, 3 months of knowing Eotaden, have gone from like journeyman to expert to trying to become a master.
That's true.
So like,
I do kind of live in the heart of the mountains some of the time. Ancient home of the Malerican.
Oh, yes, sure, of course. He has no idea what you're talking about.
Okay.
Let me rephrase. He has no idea what you're talking about. He is putting on again, airs because he don't want to look like he's the person who doesn't know a thing. But he desperately wants to know a thing.
Oh, okay. Well, ancient home of the Malarkin, king and crafters.
Yes, of course. The Malarkin, such wondrous craftsmen of legend, indeed. And you have been,
Hanging out in his ancestral home.
of course, which is renowned for its
Magical workroom.
magical workroom.
Yeah, there's a magical workroom.
What do you mean magical workroom?
It's a workroom that's magic.
In what way?
Only I can use it though, or my chosen people.
Your chosen people?
Yeah, I have a tribe of goblins. Goblinoids mostly.
Your chosen people are a tribe of goblinoids
Yeah, the skull takers.
that get to work in a magical crafts place.
Yeah. You wanna come visit?
He blinks at you and he says, I think I might like that.
I mean, you can.
How much HP does he have?
What kind of question is that?
It's the sixth level of the dungeon. And
Let's see. There might be a number that might be safe or unsafe, depending on what that number may be.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna tell him where it is. I'll detail where it is and how to get there for him.
So well, I mean, you're going back soon, right?
Yeah, if you wanted to come with us, you could.
So it's just like a potential excursion, and then maybe I could like stay for a day or two, or maybe a few more, and take everything in, and then maybe the next time you're coming back up, you could escort me back out.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun.
You roll me a persuasion check. For clarity, Eotodin seems
11.
Uh-oh.
Eotodin seems insistent on this happening regardless, right? Because there's this air of concern, of being left behind, right? Of being in a partnership and suddenly his partner has kind of like leveled up his craftsmanship, and now he's concerned about not matching up to the situation, and now he knows that there's this secret magical crafting place that these goblins have access to. What? And I don't, like, excuse me? So you see him go through the motions of being like, okay, all right, this is gonna happen. And whatever Bones says in the moment doesn't exactly assuage Eotodin's feelings or anything. That's what the persuasion check's
I'm not
really
trying to
for.
assuage him. I think it'd be fun.
Sure. But Eotodin does kind of like give you this. Yes. I believe I would like that very much. I will make the necessary arrangements. Do you know when you are heading into the dungeon next?
I'm not super sure. We have like a weird dream world jaunt we got to go on, so I don't know,
All right.
a few days. I'd say 3 to 5 days if I had to guess.
That seems fine. Either way, I can make arrangements, and if it's this, he gestures to what you have brought him, will take me 5 days with what you have, provided. But I can bring with me the necessary arrangements to continue my work within the dungeon if necessary. So if you leave earlier than the 5 days, I can still take the stuff and continue to work on it.
Okay, yeah, sure. We can do that.
All right.
That sounds fun. I'm excited.
I am too. And you get this kind of like air of excitement, but also air of like a little like sad, right? Like that you didn't offer or initially, that he had to kind of like pull it out of you type situation, you know?
Without acknowledging that, I'm gonna say, yeah, a lot of people don't really want to go down in the dungeon, even though we have this super safe and cool place.
The way you say that sounds as if you would like more people to visit.
Well, yeah, I'm kind of trying to bring back the old ways, so more people be helpful.
You can re-roll that persuasion check. Your DC is 15, by the way.
All right. An 11. How's that?
11. So
cool.
you stay consistent. It kind of like, some of what you're kind of like hinting at maybe goes over Eotiden's head, or maybe he just is a little too like hurt, like he's got his fifis hurt a little too much to immediately forgive the concept. But the idea is still planted there, right? Like he gets kind of like the concept of what you're going for. But
He writes down Malerkin old ways,
yeah.
things to look up later.
Like time ? And goes there. So moving onwards, I will say time ? Till the end of my days, as long as Mitch has a camera turned on, just to be able to see Mitch's face as he hears me say time ?
Mhm.
That's just, it's gonna happen forever. Just like if I mention a dragon, I will immediately look at Jake's fucking camera, like, period. So,
Yep. Hey, while I'm here, do you happen
What?
to know sending?
I don't use sending personally. I tend to rely on birds. And he'll show you, right, like he'll pull out like a little paper bird, which you've seen these around and about in the past, right? They're paper birds that are enchanted to fly to whoever the missive is for. Sending is kind of like on the edge of Eotiden's power, right? So Eotiden doesn't work like a regular magic user does, right? Eotiden is a what's the word I'm looking for? Eotiden is a craftsman's mage, right? So the majority of the magic, he's a low-level caster, but the majority of the magic that he does from an enchantment standpoint is ritually cast via the components that he comprises and takes. So he could cast sending if he bothered to like learn it and like copy it down, but he wouldn't be able to do it very frequently, and it would interfere with the crafting that he does, right? Because he uses his higher level stuff in the enchanting process, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, okay, gotcha. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Hey, you know where I can find someone to cast sending for me, who's discreet?
There are a number of services throughout the city. You need only go to one of the various general stores or magical wares stores that offer various magical things for pretty exorbitant prices. Travel, messages, communions, auguries, those types of things. Generally, though, it's better if you have a friend who is able to do those types of things. The general prices can be pretty prohibitive. I.e., again, the City of Splendors, Waterdeep, is very hoity-toity, very high and mighty compared to a lot of the other cities. There are a couple of locations throughout the city that there are establishments that work with or that sell magical services, but those services tend to come at exorbitant prices.
Okay. Gotcha. Cool. All right, well, I'll let you know, hopefully like the night before we're gonna leave or something.
Sure. I could give you this, and he hands you a paper bird, right? He says,
Paper.
if you and he does a quick incantation over it. If you want, as soon as you find out when you might be leaving, just send this to me with the date and the time, and I will come to the Lifted Spirits, to Troll Skull, at that time, and travel with you.
All right, cool. Sounds good.
Oh, we should probably let Ochotu know. Although I guess it doesn't matter, but he has the box, and he's been the one, bringing stuff to me. I say stuff, it's been like the one thing, but I thought it was going to continue to be a thing, and maybe it will continue to be a thing. I don't know. But you're 2 steps ahead of me. You already thought of this.
I hadn't, but now I have.
Wonderful. I'm going to get
Alright.
to work on this.
Sounds great. See you later.
And you, for clarity, you wanted me to use this, and he hefts up the fucking kite shield that you've handed off to him.
Yeah.
Okay. It will be done. Do you want some components, or is just... I'll figure it out.
Components for what?
Like, I could, maybe shrink this down and put it as, like, the chest piece or something like that.
No, we don't deal in metal here.
Okay, right. No metal.
See you later. I'll pay him the money too. All the money that's owed. Paid.
Up front. Okay, holy shit.
Well, yeah. 1,000 gold.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's 1,000 gold. That's not an insubstantial sum, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Bone crafting. Bone crafting. Right. It's 1,000 gold. It would be 2,000 gold, but because you are supplying a gem or item to be cannibalized, it is reduced. Gotcha. Very cool.
Indeed.
Awesome possum, lemon blossom. Sounds great. Okay. Yatsudin will go about that. Even if there is other stuff that you are going to do for the day, we will circle back around to you. Who wants to go next,
Okay.
Ashes or Ezra?
I guess me.
It was me. He was
Is it me all
hiding.
along? Okay. This probably won't be super complicated, but I wish to try to get more schooling in.
Okay. Alchemy schooling?
Yes, I wish to further my apothecaric arts.
What is your current setup at?
That's a great question. Do I have a resource for that?
I really hope you do.
Maybe hold on. I've got that in a. I'm pretty sure I've got a Google Doc for that.
I've got a Google Doc for that. I've got a Google
You're almost
Doc
as
for
bad as Jeremy.
too
Jesus.
many things. I have too many Google Docs. Too many docs.
So Warzone Agreement, Data Pot. I have Days of Rare Pot Training 1 of 5.
Okay,
Is
perfect.
that correct?
Sounds great.
Okay.
You can go to the Guild of Apothecaries and what the fuck else is it? It's a Guild of Apothecaries and something.
Me?
I don't know. Guild of nope. are you?
Potion makers,
Is it potion makers?
maybe.
Potion seller.
I need only your strongest potions.
Oh, my heart just fucking skipped a beat.
Why?
Did you look at me and saw me on camera? And
Yes, that's what it was.
and
Absolutely.
that's what it was. Yeah.
That's how,
The
that's how it
heart
happened.
flutters.
Absolutely. No, my heart's skipping a beat for a different reason. Whatever, I'll live. Fine. Oh, they just moved things. It's a-okay now. We're fine. We're okay.
Yeah.
Yay. All right. Where are we looking? No, it's actually not in. It's in the weird thing. It's the introduction period, isn't it? Sorry. I'm having one of those OCD semi fucking like spectrum moments where I have to like do this or else I will drive myself crazy. It is.
Guild of Apothecaries and Physicians.
It is the Guild of Apothecaries and Physicians.
I think it might be
Physicians.
the Guild of Apothecary. and
So
Physician.
you get your doctorate here.
I heard, yeah, it is both. It's both apothecaries and yes, absolutely. Because most apothecaries and physicians in a place like Waterdeep are one and the same, and or working in tandem, right? Like a person might specialize in the apothecaries, right? Like in creation of potions and poultices and medicines and things like that. But even those people learn the rudimentary basics of medicine, of healing
sure.
people, right?
Yep.
And then other people get into the whole cutting aspect.
Except the apothecaries don't have to take the Hippocratic Oath, because I've seen some of the potions you can make, and those definitely do
The
harm.
physicians in Waterdeep also do not take the Hippocratic Oath. Just throwing that out there. But yes,
They just try not to be hypocrites.
right. You are able to make your
Hippocratic
way to the Guild of Fine. I keep wanting to say the Guild of Fine Carvers, the Guild of Apothecaries and Physicians. And there, do you remember the name of your person?
Oh God, no, I don't.
I have it. I just will have to look it up.
It is,
Hey, get your shit together.
It's Professor. Maybe I do have it. Hold on.
Alchemy.
A long list.
Man Dudington.
Mandudington.
Man Duding.
Mandudington.
Brother of
Going
Man
around
Duding.
where you start calling the main characters of a game John and like a word from the title of the game.
Yeah.
Like the main character. of Doom.
John Balder.
Yeah.
Fair.
Like the main character of Doom is clearly John Doom.
That's a play off of John Doe, though.
Well, I mean, it could be.
No, it is. It absolutely is a play off of John Doe.
No, I did not.
It's
write
John
down the-
Doom.
Right. Right.
I'm triggered.
I did not write down the name of the professor, unfortunately. I apologize.
I have it. I have that information somewhere. That information does exist. I will try to find that information in the future. But for now, it's Beryl. I found it.
Professor
'Cause
Beryl.
Dwight is the administrative head of the Guild of
Yes.
Apothecaries and Physicians, and then Beryl is the old master alchemist who makes her living refining extremely rare substances for powerful people in the city, but she also tutors on the side at the Guild of Apothecaries and Physicians on Sleeper's Wall. Beryl
It is now in my notes.
is able to spend the day with you training. You can now mark 2 of 5 days.
All right. And like after the session, I'll tell him that I'm currently trying to like break down potions to see if I can't figure out their components?
She will tell you that is very exciting, and she's very proud that you're taking the initiative. But she will caution you, maybe be careful about doing that, because if she's giving you the spiel of like she's like talking to a person who might not have a lot of a disposable income, right? So she's like, you don't want to run out, because if you do, you lost that potion. So
Yep. Understood.
Be especially careful.
Cool. Yep, we'll do.
Potions, by the way, if you were not clear, potions are exorbitantly expensive.
Yeah. I've been very well. I've been sitting on that potion for a long time. I've been very hesitant about doing this.
Even just the potions that you guys buy off the magic shop, or you find a potion of healing is 50 gold, right?
That is
like
a lot of
That's
money.
a lot.
50 gold is for
Like 2 years
comparison.
income for someone blue collar.
No, not in Waterdeep. In a different town, yes, absolutely. But Waterdeep is the city of splendor, so Waterdeep is like New York prices compared to Wisconsin prices, that type of situation, right?
Whoa! Why didn't you say Texas?
I was gonna say Texas prices, but that wouldn't have computed for you. It's the same price. We have the same prices.
Yeah, right.
We've been
It's the same thing.
But a better comparison would be that your expenses for the experts, the veterans that you employ at the Lifted Spirits, you pay experts, not masters, but experts, 20 gold a work week. So it would take 2.5 work weeks for them to just afford a potion of healing.
That's
Much
assuming
less
they don't have to worry about living costs or
exactly,
food or anything else.
right?
Yeah.
Like it is, and that's in the City of Splendors, where the quality of life standard for even the poorest folk in the City of Splendors is far and above the worst or even middle class in other places, right?
But also,
so like when she's saying this to you, she's like, "Oh God, that's a lot of careful. Be careful."
Yeah, that's like a child playing with like a Fabergé egg. Be like, "Oh, just put it down."
I'm very excited about your enthusiasm, but oof, yeah.
Oh yeah, any tips? Any tips for, trying to like find the basic compounds of an already brewed potion?
She will walk you through a rudimentary scenario. Roll me an intelligence, or actually, we'll just use your alchemy supplies. Roll me an alchemy supply check, DC 15.
Okay. Bam. Roll. 27.
27.
I think he hit it. I think
Notate. She gives you a little bit of advice. Notate that you have advantage on your next check for deconstructing that potion.
Okay.
Okay. Fuck yeah.
Notes. Head.
Really like this song.
Well, that is all I had intended to do for now.
Onwards to Ezrah!
Yeah. Maybe head back and maybe actually put that information to use.
Fuck yeah. Ezra, what are you up to?
Ezra's gonna... He's been in Waterdeep for a minute.
A hot minute.
Does he
months.
know what the sweets scenario is within the City of Splendors? Did he come up to the city knowing what he was gonna bring back?
Is Ezra a sweets person? Does Ezra have a sweet tooth? Because if Ezra has a sweet tooth and he's been in the city for months, then I would say absolutely. He's made the rounds, right?
I mean, I wouldn't say he's like a sweets fanatic by any means.
So,
But like with holidays and events and in passing, maybe
okay.
you catch him on a sweets day. He probably has an idea, but he doesn't go out of his way.
Enjoys a good sweets and
Right.
maybe seeks them out on particular time periods, but all the rest of the time it's just I'm offered one? Sure. Type
Right.
situation.
Yep.
Cool. I would say then Ezra probably has enough of a basics understanding of what's available from a common perspective in Waterdeep in order to go suss out other things, right? Like to be like, oh, I know I can go to these places either in the Grand Market or in the Trade Ward or in the Dock Ward for kind of like the Grand Market being kind of like the place of where stuff is specifically being made and sold here, or the Trade Ward where maybe you could put in an order for certain amounts of things, or the Dock Ward where you could just go wholesale buy like components, like sugars and et cetera, et cetera. Those type of things. So, well, maybe you won't make your own, but like maybe the Drow would make their own, right?
That was not what I was told to get, so
perfectly acceptable. So all of those things, though, I think would be things that Ezra would be aware or cognizant of. It's just a matter of which one Ezra goes for.
I think he would lean towards heading towards the market.
Okay.
I think that's probably for him the safest place to.
So going to the Grand Market right now is actually not the greatest time to go to the Grand Market because just yesterday the Grand Market was set up into the 3 massive ice skating rinks, and there's stalls and everything like that are still open, so you could find some sweets.
So are you saying right now as in today, or are you saying right now as in the morning?
Just today, right? Because today is kind of like the breakdown after midwinter. Tomorrow, most of the normal stalls that operate in winter time are going to be back open, and some of those include confectioners, right? Right now, you could find a couple of stalls that you could buy some from, but I don't know what quantity you're looking for.
If he knows this isn't the best time to do this, then he would hold off, because knowing we're going to be up here for a couple of days. Does that
it might be a scenario where like you're taking the dray up the high road, and when you're approaching, you're like, okay, I'm gonna do this and this, and then you see like the ice covered kind of snow rinks, and you're just like, oh fuck, right, okay.
Does the market also impact like weapons and armor and that kind of stuff, or are those more specialty?
So it does depend on the situation, right? Again, the Grand Market is kind of like this. It's the livelier version, but everything that happens in the Grand Market you can find in the Trade Ward, right? It's just typically the Trade Ward is where people go to do bigger transactions or longer term transactions.
I think he would actually head down to the Trade Ward then. Okay.
Easy enough. So the dray is heading up the high road, gets close to the market. You see the ice rinks, and then you're like, oh, and that's when you leave the dray and you head back. Okay. U-turn. I think at that point, because Ashes would have gotten off in the Trade Ward already, I believe. And Bones left initially, so Ezra was the only one left in the dray, so the driver and the 2 attendants are like, yeah, okay, whatever. They paid their gold. We're good for another like little while. Turn the bus around. Let's go. So they take you back down to the Trade Ward, and you're able to go look for some confectioners.
I am also keeping my eyes out for armorers slash.
There's a whole like armorers slash weapons. There's the kind of like smithy area.
Yep.
Which isn't actually, I think, technically a part of the Trade Ward, but it's very close to the Trade Ward. But it's like off on the side, specifically set up with a bunch of like firewalls and everything like that because of the various forges and everything like that.
Right.
Waterdeep is an extremely fire conscientious, safe city.
Why?
It not only
Why?
has the various like firewalls established in a lot of different parts of the city, especially around things like the Great Forges, but it also has members of the Order of Mages and Protectors installed around these various locations in order to be like, oh shit, fire, here's some water, let's go. Right. So that whole situation, I do not remember off the top of my head which street the majority of the forges are located on, but I do believe there is one. Ezra would be aware of that or be able to suss out that information pretty quickly, and so you can make your way there.
Whichever
Sure.
is the first spot, whether it be the forges or the confections, that is where I would bid the school bus adieu.
Okay, gotcha. So easy enough to go through that situation, and then while you are within the trade ward, you can find both. Which would you like to address first?
Which was closer?
Let's roll.
I was kind of leaving it to you.
Since I am unsure, there is a correct answer, right? Because there is actually a street that the majority of the forges are on. I just don't remember what that street is. We will leave it instead to luck. I will roll a d20. If it's a 1 through 10, we'll do confection first. If it's a 11 through 20, we'll do armaments first.
Coolio.
It is an 11 through 20, so we'll do armaments first. You find your way. It's easier. The confectioners are all over the place. It's easier to find just the whole alley worth of forges and shit like that. Instead, there are other places to buy armaments and armors and things like that, but there's a whole big-ass fucking, like, street of this stuff that's intentionally contained so that the smoke that it produces and the potential fire hazard is all in one area.
So points of inquiry to the DM.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Before we start getting into the role play side of things.
Yeah.
Ezra's plan.
Okay.
Or
hope
is to pick up 5 sets of studded leather, 5 sets of chain shirt, 5 short swords, and 5 short bows.
By the
all of good quality.
Sure.
But with the intent to haggle the shit out of this bitch.
Yeah, okay.
So in my mind, I'm thinking coming in looking for like 1 or 2 of these, and I mean, if you want, I could buy a couple extra if you give me a little discount.
Just the fucking terminology you're using right now. I'm just like, you fucking asshole.
Yep.
Okay. I get you 100%. Yes. So, and I think going in, Ezra, who has already spent time in the city and kind of like habitually tries to know things, right? Tries to listen in on things and notate things down and have a good understanding, even if it's not necessarily his area of expertise or interest or things like that. Really likes doing these types of things, and he's been on this road, this pathway of kind of like being more forceful, being more, commanding or present
in the front.
Exactly, right? So it's this kind of like moment to take knowledge and and that presence and kind of like marry the two. So you go in with this plan, from knowledge, right? Like the winter months are extremely slow for the majority of these types of industries. Most of the work that is being done is either basic repair work that is happening just offhand, or it's preparatory work for the spring, like people, merchants, or the city guard or the city watch that has put in large orders for the spring because they have plans or initiatives that they're going to be taking care of. All the rest of the time, though, that merchants or craftsmen are looking for opportunities to make a quick buck, to kind of like boost the flagging sales of the season, and you know that means that this is a ripe opportunity for haggling. And the rest of the city knows it too, right? Like this isn't like a solely Ezrah known scenario. So as you're kind of like moving in to do this, the people you're kind of like going towards, they know what's going on and they're prepped and ready to haggle as well, right? Like, so
the only thing I forgot to mention is, obviously, you know this, but just making it clear, this is intended to help equip House Breath. So it's intended to be of appropriate sizing, at least in terms of armor. That
well, fortunately, the drow
most of that's flexible, but
yes. The drow are roughly the same size and shape as humanoids, right? Like they might be, or humans, they might be more thin and lithe, generally speaking. But the majority of the time, these types of armaments, the arms, right? They're going to be fine regardless. The armors might need a little bit of adjusting, but the City of Splendors is such a diverse cultural scenario that the people the craftsmen in Waterdeep try to have a pretty wide variety of those types of things anyways.
Right.
Or have more adjustable styles as well. As you approach down basically this massive street of forges and shops, it's not covered in snow here because of the intense heat coming off of the forges that are working even in winter. Which means that it's just wet and cold in this place. But
my favorite.
Unlike the more kind of like temperate or hot months, there aren't any like hawkers or anything like that out in the streets. Most of the business that is done at this point in the year is either people are coming in knowing exactly what they want and they're going to come to the people that they know that they want to do it. So you have this whole kind of like street of various forges and things like that, but no real kind of like advertising or people kind of trying to get your business. So it's just a matter of you picking a place to go. Roll me a d20.
I can do that. I think that's what you're supposed to do this.
Ooh.
How about a 4?
Okay, that's a 4. You walk into the first 2 places that you're kind of like, okay, this looks like an okay establishment, and you immediately get told that they're not interested, they're full up on orders, sorry for the inconvenience, they can't do business with you, right? Which is unfortunate because you kind of had like appraised the street and the various shops and everything like that, and those were your first 2 picks, right? Because they looked like better establishments, they looked like they had kind of like a finer culture about themselves, etc., etc. But the third one that you go into doesn't seem like none of the establishments on this street are slipshod establishments, right? They are all reputable. It just might not be, oh, this one looked like it was gonna be really good and they were very like professional. The next one that you go into has a couple of actual blacksmiths at a forge, and then an attendant that's like, hey, what can we do to help you? You know, and it's that kind of like a little bit less like what you might want or expect.
Okay. I mean, do they have like
they have arms and armaments on display. It seems as if they work in various different goods. You can tell that there are a couple of specialists that work in this place, but a lot of the specialists work in more secluded areas, like the swordsmith, the master swordsmith that only ever does swords, works out on Sorn Street, and he only deals with one client a year, you know, type scenario, right?
Do I hear any whispers of the bone master? That's starting to come around.
Roll me a perception check.
Oh, because I'm great at those.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that was not terrible.
No, you do not. You absolutely do not. Unfortunately,
There's not a bonesmith.
He hasn't made his way down here yet.
This town is missing its bonesmith.
Yeah. But the places that you're frequent or visiting right now are kind of like general. They're going to cover as many bases as they can.
Right.
So.
Yep. I mean, I have enough experience, I think, to understand the basics of a suit of armor, and the weaponry I'm looking at to know that it's good or not good quality.
I think we will. I generally agree with you, but I think we will roll at the end to see if that is the case.
Okay. Well, you're gonna make me look like a dumbass.
No,
cool.
no. I think you're gonna do just fine. But I think we will roll just in case.
So if I get the impression that this seems like
it seems like a perfectly reputable shop. It just seems like this place is a little more crass than the places that you had tried initially.
Sure. I would just start talking to the guy and be commenting specifically on some of the armor and a couple of pieces of the weaponry, and just, is this something you have in stock?
Roll me an investigation check.
Do my glasses count?
Yeah, absolutely, they count.
Oh, all right. 27.
They didn't need to count. 27. Yeah, I mean, you are able, whether it's your area of expertise or not, you are able to identify, having been through hell, having been through a lot, having been through plenty of fights, having seen your own companions in various arms and armaments, being a part of an auxiliary force for the city guard during Howldown, you've seen plenty of armor and plenty of armaments and plenty of armor and armaments in the field, and what works and what doesn't, and what looks bad and what doesn't, etc., right? You are able to tell that this establishment is perfectly fine. What they make is going to be perfectly serviceable. They're just not about the bells and whistles, and they're very kind of like, not dour, but they've kind of got this attitude of like, right?
Function over glamour.
Yes, which puts them kind of lower on the totem pole compared to a couple of the other shops in this area, and they ain't happy about it.
So getting a good pulse on, or a comfortable pulse on the gear that we're looking at, I'd start talking. Is this equipment that you have on hand? Is this stuff that you need? Like, I see you've got this one suit of studded leather. Is that...
Well, it depends on how much you're looking to buy. We do have a number of pieces on sale currently, but a lot of our inventory is spoken for by the city guard come spring. However, for the right price, we could sell that gear and just work to refill those, right? He's kind of like buttering you up for the scenario there. So.
Well, my father and brothers we're talking about doing this big trip. We're gonna head out into the wilds, and I wanted to surprise them, and it'd be nice if everyone was well equipped.
Well equipped and matching with proper gear.
That's right. Yeah, it's a family excursion. We gotta come up and represent.
Absolutely. Roll me a deception check. 21. All right. Yeah, I mean, he believes every fucking word of it, and he's just like, yes, that sounds great.
So I'm kind of glancing between the studded leather and a chain shirt, and kind of eyeing those up specifically. And are these things that you have on hand? I know.
So, I'm gonna assume a couple things that you've kind of like given him more of a generalized list of what you're looking for, so he has a better understanding. And he'll say yes, right? Like they have all of these items on hand. Some of the items are spoken for, so in theory they shouldn't be selling them to you, but they'd love to, really facilitate this kind of like family reunion scenario. I will allow you to roll a persuasion at advantage because of the success of your deception check. 23. And that is definitely a success. So, what I will say is you are...
So specifically, what my goal would have been, like I said before, is the 5 studded leather, the 5 chain shirts, 5 short swords, 5 short bows, and then 10 quivers of arrows.
You can buy all of that here. The scenario will be this. He was trying to set you up to pay double the amount. For those prices, because the items were already spoken for, and they would have to like really work hard to kind of refill the items. But we really want, it sounds like such a good scenario. So because of your deception and your persuasion, instead you will be able to haggle him down to half the price for those at a bulk discount. So you can count all of those, tally it up, and have the
that
price.
Would normally be 660 gold pieces, drop down to 330.
Absolutely. There we go.
33 plat coming out of my bag of holding.
Fuck yeah. Okay. Hell yeah. Good successes.
Yay, dice. Thank you for not fucking me.
You didn't get fucked this time. I mean, you do have a plus 14 on deception and persuasion, so actually, I think the dice fucked you twice.
I disagree. I could have rolled ones both times. Don't even give me that. I could have rolled ones both times.
Look. Yeah, those weren't great rolls. It was just that was expertise on your character's part. Don't think the dice. You did this.
That is Ezrah with motivation.
There we go.
That's what we'll call it.
Okay. And then moving on from this, because we'll count back down the other way.
Right.
Are you taking all of this stuff, or do you want to have it delivered to Troll Skull, or what's the plan?
I mean, if they've got it all on hand, I'll just throw it in my bag of holding. Because I dropped off my keg and
okay. You got plenty of space. Then yeah, easy peasy then. You can toss that all into your bag of holding. You pay up front. They're happy to take your coin and move on with their lives. From there, you are able to make your way a couple streets over and look for some more confectioners type situations. What are you trying to accomplish there?
Ezrah has no fucking idea.
Okay. What does
also,
Jake want to accomplish there?
Jake has no fucking idea.
Okay.
So I think general thought process in my mind is he would have somewhat of an idea of what like the popular Waterdevian confection like what is the Werther's caramels or the lifesaver mints or what are like the like 2 maybe 3 like big Waterdevian sweets or sours or candies that could be a fun little experience for those down below.
Yeah, that's fair. So I think with this being less of a Ezrah has less of an idea and Jake has less of an idea here, we can kind of like more hand wave this as a Ezrah just buys up a bunch of things in kind of like the idea of like, well, we're just gonna grab some stuff and hope that works. So, how much is Ezrah looking to buy? Either in money or poundage.
So in terms of what I understand the forces of House Freth to be. Are we talking they're in general, like I've done a couple of walks with Rilna at this point. We've worked with some of their task forces.
Sure.
Is it like it in general, do I get pulsed? They're like 50-ish, give or take, 100, give or take. Like, what is
probably closer to the 100 immediate kind of concept. You would know, I think at this point, that House Freth is much like House Avrendar. It has many tertiary houses that are kind of like beholden to it and working with it, right? So House Freth and the Spiderwatch Keep that you are aware of is the main bulk of their forces, but there are dozens of other little like locations and caverns and places like that that hold other houses that are beholden or in servitude or just dedicated to House Freth, right? Much like House Avrendar, but with a smaller subset, right? If you were trying to just achieve something for the immediacy of kind of like that group at Spiderwatch Keep, you're looking at closer to 100 people. If you're trying to buy something for the tune of 100 people, it would probably be for a single serving, right? Like giving a candy or a treat or a pastry or something like that. You're looking at pastries or these types of things are a little higher than what one might spend for like a ration or something like that, right? But it's still in that kind of ballpark, right? Because a ration is an entire day's worth of food. A sweet is not an entire day's worth of food, but a sweet is a luxury, right?
I think I would lean more towards like the candies side of thing, just because of the perishable element that comes with a lot of
absolutely
pastry type.
So what you would be looking at is closer to it's not going to be super cheap, but if you were trying to buy candies with the idea that at least everyone gets one, right? You're probably looking at about 100 pounds worth of candy, right?
Jesus, how heavy is this candy?
Or maybe not.
It's a pound per piece of candy?
I apologize. I did bad math.
That's a lot of candy, Jeremy. Jesus.
I did bad math in my head. I apologize.
I understand that.
No.
If anyone in this group understands that, it's me.
Nope. Sorry. It would be closer to 20 pounds worth of candy, but it will be closer to about 200 gold worth of candy, right? Is the scenario, right? So like the idea being is that you're buying about a oh no, that's incorrect. Hold up, I'm wrong. My math is bad again. I apologize.
You knew I was gonna go shopping for sweets.
I'm sorry. I tried to do the bad math in my head. It's 50 gold because it's roughly 5 silver per ration, which is per sweet, and you're going for about 100, so it's 50 gold per 100 doses, basically. So 20 pounds and 50 gold. You don't like doses?
I'm gonna pretend I understood anything you just said. You threw a lot of numbers at me real fast, and
20 pounds and 50 gold for one serving of House Freth. If you want to buy more, you can do it kind of like as like an each piece type situation.
I'm gonna do 2 of those.
2 of those. Okay, so 40 pounds and 100 gold worth of sweets.
It's like 2 potions. God, where are we supposed to get that kind of money?
That's so many, right?
That's single healing pot or 2 healing pots.
And that is another. You said it was 100 gold then?
100 gold.
Because there's 50 a pop?
Yep.
All right, another 10 plat is now off my back.
Okay.
And once I'm loaded up, I start heading back to Trollskull.
Wonderful. The other person, so we work back towards to Ashes. Ashes was the other person. Ashes.
Yep.
You did alchemy training for a day. That's your work day. What else are you doing?
Now I want to take the information that I have gathered and once again try to break down this potion of Hill Giant Strength into its components. Or is that already consumed, like, completely?
No, it is not already consumed, right? You still have we said that you had 3 attempts at the Hill Giant Strength potion. However, I believe we had established in the past that it's basically one, whether it's 8 hours or not, it's one work item per day. And your training would count as one of those work scenarios. So you could do something else, but it can't be a full kind of like work concept, which your breakdown of the potion otherwise would be.
But which that's fine. I will instead. I honestly would like to go back to the Temple of Moon, but I kind of like going when it's not day.
Yeah, I mean, you're fine to go back to Troll Skull and just sleep for a little while and then go back to the Temple of the Moon at night.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Let's
and I feel like this is kind of a pattern that the party and the lifted spirits are kind of like used to, right? Like, in fact, Sine sends Annalwing up with a dinner, kind of like a lunch dinner prepared for you, right? So that you can like eat lunch and then go to sleep, and then there's kind of like a repast that is prepped for you. And you know, you're there a lot of the staff is still at work. If you go to sleep around noon, a lot of the staff is still at work when you wake up, right? So they have a little something set aside for you in anticipation, you know, knowing, oh, Ashes is going to wake up and then he's going to go, you know, fight the good fight type situation.
Okay. All right, cool. That is what I would like to do. So I guess skip for now.
No. We don't have to skip. We can head on. Yeah.
Fucky wucky with time.
Time fucky wucky. We can wibbly wobbly, timey wimey all over the place. You go back to the Troll Skull Manor. You maybe eat a little bit of lunch, hang out with some people, and then bed down, get some rest, wake up, have a little bit of a quote-unquote breakfast kind of scenario, move your sleep schedule around a little bit compared to everyone else, and then head to the House of the Moon. To the massive tower that stands over the seaward. You can see looming far over the west gate. And then you're there. What do you want to do?
Well, I guess I will seek out either Taverin if he is around, or got it in here somewhere. Hold on.
We are holding
the lady that runs Temple of the Moon. Amnestria.
Amnestria, yes.
If she's around,
I thought you were going for Burn for a second. I was like, he's gonna go for the Wereshark guy who he was cool. No,
he was
fucking
probably
abandoned
the coolest.
No, get out of here. You've abandoned him. You've gone for Amnestria.
I'm not changing it. Like, I'm still like
Taverin or Amnestria. Which one would you rather prioritize?
I guess Amnestria. But if she's not around, then I'll find Taverin.
So initially, right, like when you come to the House of the Moon, the attendants ask you if they can help you, right? If you need them to find someone for you, you ask for Amnestria. Then about 20 minutes later, Amnestria shows up. So this beautiful middle-aged elven woman, right, with this curly hair kind of like flowing back around her, strides up to you. You can hear this kind of like click, click, click across the stone floor of the House of the Moon.
Well, she has stilettos?
No, she doesn't have stilettos, but she does have heels of a sort. And she approaches, and she is very warm. Ashes, it is so good to see you. You've been stopping by the temple. It's been great news. Obviously, I mean, since the last time I saw you, it was a little tense, but
little bit.
You know, how are things?
Good. I'm not going to be up very long, just a few more days before I head
It
back
seems
down.
like an
but-
exceptionally long time for you, honestly.
Yeah, look, yeah. But while I'm here, I would
Yes.
like to offer my services to the temple, and
Hmm.
I know that you've put me to work putting together, bundles and packages for others, but I was curious if there is something I could do a little more that
Ah.
required a little bit more elbow grease.
Now, I must ask, of course, just for verification, not that I believe it of you, but you don't think it beneath you.
Oh, no, I will be glad to do whatever the temple needs the most.
Of
But-
course. But you would rather muscle it around if we needed that.
I mean, I don't know how many are willing to do the more muscly things, but I just
That's
playing
very,
to my strengths.
very
let's say.
fair. Very fair. I believe we have absolutely the need for those specific services. And I am actually very thankful that you have offered them.
Good.
Wonderful. Do you have Are you available tomorrow and then just going forward for a few days?
Yes, actually, we are heading back is it the 4th?
We don't know.
We don't know.
You
I
don't
don't
have a
know.
firm time yet.
We
For clarity, Ashes / J.
Yep.
Are you so? If you are to go to school, right, and spend an
Yep.
8-hour workday, right,
Mhm.
you cannot also go to the Temple of the Moon and spend an 8-hour workday. You could go and dabble with the Temple of the Moon, right? But you basically have to
Right.
choose which one each day that you want to further your objective of.
Gotcha.
And what
Gotcha.
Amnestria is talking about is the idea that she's going to put you to work.
Okay. Then, and if she would like to do that tomorrow, let us go ahead and schedule that into the books.
Sounds like a plan. Are you doing anything else while you are here?
No. I think that is all. Well, I guess since I'm here and I'm not actually doing anything, I could go just spend a little bit of time in the moon room.
Okay.
Just basically do the same thing as last time.
Easy peasy.
No need to.
Roll me a religion check.
Rolling you a religion check. Where is it? It's alphabetical every time. Normal. 13.
You feel a kind of warmth as you I say warmth, it's kind of like a chill tingling, right? You feel a presence, right? Acknowledge you as you sit with Zalara in the moon room, in one of the many moon rooms, and you and Zalara have a nice, chit chat about what's going on. Zalara actually, as she talks to you and she says, What do you think we're gonna do about Matashtai? What do you?
I have no idea, but what I do know is we're going to do whatever's needed. Valena, despite the fact that we can't really talk to her on a normal basis, or she's kind of like not really present, she's still one of us. She's still part of the group, and we're going to do what it takes to get her back.
I mean, I get that. I mean, for all intents and purposes, Valena is. I am Valena. I just, have a hard edge that can cut people.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh, and I was just going to throw this out there. The same goes to you. If for some reason you and I separated, I would do what it takes to get you back.
You fucking better.
Yeah. Well, I'm just making sure that we're clear.
Yeah, just so we're clear.
Yeah.
It wasn't in
We're
doubt
getting
until
real
you just said this.
defensive.
Now I question it.
Really?
Become a dagger. I'll use her.
Just,
Of
well,
bone?
like she's stone, right? You could just nap the end off and
Stone. She's not metal.
Is she stone?
Yeah,
I thought she was metal.
No, she's stone.
she's
Yeah.
stone.
Stone's a
she's
gray
made of
area for
stone.
me.
I'm surprised Bones hasn't tried to steal her yet.
Yeah, look. Get that good.
Mhm.
Fucking Zalar ain't playing. Okay, cool. Yeah, there's just a brief moment, right? Like there's this communion and there's a bunch of conversation. Like there's a lot of conversation that happens with Zalar that we don't cover. She is an ever-present figure in your mind, much like Valena used to be.
It used to be.
Used to be.
Rub it.
Rub it in. Look, I gotta rub it in while I can. Anything else for you, Ashes, or is that the majority of your day?
Finish up.
Fine. Bones.
What if we kill Matt in the dream realm, and then they'll be reunited?
Reunited forever.
I think that's how it works. Hello, I'm Bones. That's me.
He's
Ready.
Bones. That's him. He spent a goodly portion of his morning on a bus in the snow, and then visiting with his friend Eotidan. What else does Bones want to do for the day?
Now seek out. No, will not seek out. Will.
What the? Okay, I heard. I will now seek out blank. Wait, no, I will not seek out blank. Did it really just cut out everything that was the specifics?
I don't know.
Yep.
Did it?
It
Yeah, I didn't
totally
hear it either.
did.
I didn't hear it either.
Very interesting.
Yep. Nope. It was cut out for me too.
He just went in hushed tones every time he said whatever
Oh,
name
yeah,
he
that's
said.
what it was.
Well, I adjusted my noise gate per someone. Clearly,
Well,
it doesn't.
Fix
Yep,
the shit.
that just got you again. Talk louder, Zach. Gosh.
No. Turn my
No.
noise gate back down.
He says no.
If
No.
the shit starts blowing up, you'll know.
No. I
No.
will not. Okay, I will now. I will go and I really just don't have much more to do. I am going to
Okay.
I will go and do a work day and await news from A Nasty.
A Nasty. Awaiting news for A Nasty. Okay. Easy enough. Go ahead and mark a work day off. You head over to the Wormbone, spend some time working. Ochotu is there. There's minor business in the afternoon. Blah, 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 blah. And then we will, on a future date, discuss whether or not Anastas was successful in anything today. Because Anastas has a fucking job, and you didn't just be like, go, leave, abandon your job.
Not during the day.
So Anastas has to wait, and tonight might make progress. We'll see how it goes. In fact,
Okay. Well, hold on then. I thought his ass didn't work until the night. He's a damn bard.
they are an entertainer and work throughout the day in shifts. There is a lunch shift and there is an evening session, basically.
All right, I'm gonna let it go for today.
You're gonna let it go for today? Okay.
today.
Well, roll me a d20 plus 3. Your DC is 15.
I rolled a 15.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, we will circle back around to that. Very cool.
All right. I'm prepared to circle.
Okay. It is late in the evening when Matashtai makes his way back into the city and drops Gallant off at the, I assume that Matashtai is taking Gallant straight back to the stables, but Matashtai might be trying to head somewhere else. Matashtai, are you heading elsewhere, or are you going back to Troll Skull Manor? You are muted. Or I can't hear you, one or the other.
Now you're actually muted.
Yeah, Discord has been doing this thing with Mitch here lately, where it's like it doesn't wanna hear him. I don't know why.
The beta branch.
Right? Like, what the fuck? It's weird.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I can hear you. You're good now.
I don't think there's anything else to do. Sorry, what time did you say it was that I get back?
It would be evening as you're kind of like returning.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything then.
Okay.
I'll just head back to Troll
Then you can you take Gallant out for ride through the city, take him back to the stables. That whole situation resolves. Head back to Troll Skull, and it is at that point that Ezrah, Bones, and Matashtai are all kind of like reunited. Ashes is maybe there for a brief period before he heads out to the House of the Moon. And then everyone, eventually, unless you guys have any evening plans with each other.
I would spend a work day.
Right, you didn't spend a work day. Ezra, Tome. Unless there's something else that you're wanting to spend a work day on, what would you like to do?
The tome is the work day.
Well, I mean, you could try to like make scrolls or potions, or you do you. Tome, work day. What do you want to do?
I must figure this goddamn book out.
Look, good luck.
It will be my bitch. One of these centuries, it will be my bitch.
About that. Absolutely.
Jake, do you know sending?
No.
Why do you think I was like?
Waste of a spell.
I was about to say, why weren't we like looking for sending scrolls when we were in Dramacore? I was like, we need sending scrolls. We're gonna need the scrolls.
I mean, you guys could go buy them.
That's true. All right. I'm gonna find
a lot of money.
Scroll shop tomorrow. God
Not
damn it.
insubstantial. What would you like to do, Ezra?
I have spent a lot of time on the investigation track, and I have had pretty good luck. So I think I need to switch it up.
There, yeah,
I think I need to switch it up because I'm getting a little too comfortable.
Okay.
Or uncomfortable because it's so fucked up.
So now it's a scenario of what are we swapping to is the question.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go with history because that's been my least touched of the.
That was like your baby initially. You were all over the history at the start, and then you kind of like
I was getting some good stuff. I got really upset with Arcana because I kept getting these cool spells and they kept disappearing, and I was getting a little unhappy there.
You just gotta keep doing Arcana to get the cool spells back. Like that's how it works.
I was losing them, and that made me feel unhappy. So I need a break. I just need a couple days.
You do you, fam. History me 22. 22. Interestingly, I know that you know. Ezra, what's the 12th level of the dungeon?
Map. The 12th is the Maze of Madness, or the Lair of the Umber Hulks. Also, the home of House Fresh.
I was gonna say, I know you know this one because this is the lowest level of the dungeon that you have been to. In your review of the tome of Calabash's tome, you find this is one of those lucid nights where it's less gibberish and less patterns because you're looking for lore. You're looking for lore bits, and the tome provides. And as you are trying to suss out various different things, a lot of it is still very kind of like wonky and strange and probably doesn't make a lot of sense. You notate it, but whether it's valuable or not is extremely questionable. But as you start to get into a couple of little passages here or there, you note, oh, yes, I can corroborate. I can corroborate this information personally. I know. I have been. As you find passages that begin to talk about the mists that pour out within the maze and the proximity of the maze to another plane of existence, to the plane of the abyss, and most specifically to the Ivory Labyrinth, the realm of Baphomet, and the mist pouring forth potentially from that realm, potentially the idea that one strong within the ways of Baphomet, or a aspirant perhaps of that demon lord, being able to turn the mists, control the mists, move the mists to their own will. And that is intriguing information to you, especially considering the conversations that you have had with Erelal and Driven and with Rilna about the issues that House Freth has marching to war against House Ovrindar, right? The idea that just getting through the maze portion of level 12 of the dungeon is a dangerous threat because of the Zezana, this tribe of minotaurs, and the mist that they inhabit. So yeah, that is what your 22 gains you.
So it's the idea that there could be a disciple of Baphomet.
Yeah, well, the idea that either
or if there was
could
someone
be,
of that
or yes, that either there is or there could be, right? Either there is currently, or maybe it definitely is currently, who knows, right? But if there isn't, or if there is, there could be one, or there could be a new one, right?
But it's more the idea that something like that could control.
Something like that could control,
and shape.
yes, and thus potentially turn it into less of a threat for House Freth. Very interesting roll, honestly. There, could have rolled a lot of other things.
It was probably on the mind.
Right?
You know, it was topical.
Rolled a 22. Huh, interesting. Okay, cool. So I do believe that completes Ezra's workday. Bones has completed a workday. Ash's has completed a workday. Matashtai has completed a workday. We've all done various activities. Ezra, Bones, Matashtai, you're all eventually bedding down in Troll Skull Manor, I believe.
I'm not ready to bed down.
You're not ready to bed down.
I'm not ready to bed down.
Okay. What
I
does
need to talk to
Bones
Matt.
wish to do?
I need to talk to Matt.
Okay.
Hey. I say, hey, Matt. Matt, hey.
Yeah.
Hey. How's the old drawing hand?
Even better now.
Very good. That's what I like to hear. Hey, will you do me a favor?
Sure.
All right, I need posters. Okay?
What?
Recruitment posters.
What?
What?
For,
Yeah,
for
recruitment
what?
posters. I want to recruit people, but specifically dwarves. People that want to go have a return to the old ways. Don't elaborate past that. Just say, are you interested in the old ways? And maybe draw some dwarf stuff. And then give them a time and place to meet. Troll Skull, whatever the hell this is called, skullduggery.
This feels
That's all going to be a
oddly
long
reminiscent
poster.
of conservative propaganda. You want to go back to the old days?
The old
No.
days. There's
Yeah,
some
that's why we're
city
putting
watch that
dwarf
are knocking
area.
on your door in 2 days from now. Like, we need to have a discussion about these posters.
Look, if it comes to that, it comes to that. I just need, like, I don't know, 5 or 10 of these posters.
and you just want them to say, "Do you want to return to the old ways?"
And
draw
dwarf
the-
iconography.
Like what? A mug? A hammer?
A mug, a pick, a hammer, and then like subtly, like in one of the corners, throw in like a little Malarkin symbol.
I was gonna say, you guys have spent plenty of time in the Lost Levels, in the very heart of where the Malarkin power was. There are numerous symbols that cover the walls, runes and symbols and pictographs and things like that. That Matashtai could draw from memory at this point, probably. Whether he knows what they mean or not,
look, we found the Malarkins, because I need
like,
to judge how decent these people are.
Yeah, whether Matashtai knows what those runes or pictographs or whatever mean is a different question, you know. But he could definitely recreate some of them.
Good thing you speak dwarf.
I do. I speak dwarf.
Dwarf?
I know, that's why I said it.
Dwarf?
Oh, I thought you were being sarcastic. I do speak dwarf.
No, I understand.
I am a dwarf cat.
So
Hey,
you
dwarf
can
cat.
tell him what those symbols mean.
No, I just, vaguely reminiscent.
Okay, so what happens from here?
I can draw that up for you, I guess.
All right, thanks.
I don't think a couple posters is enough to be considered an entire workday, so this could be done on the morrow in addition to a workday, right? Like, if so choose, or so chosen. But I'm excited. Very interesting. Is that all you had?
That's all I had. That's all I had.
Matashtai, do you care to add anything to that or do anything in secret in response to that? You
No.
circle back around to me? Okay. Okay. All right, fair enough. There was a consideration there. All right, sounds like a plan. Then I need anything else? Going once? Going twice? Ashes, roll me a 1d2. Or 1d3. 1d3, actually. 1d3. I apologize. 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6. Okay. You do, after spending some time in one of the moon rooms, you run into basically the same scenario where you're like, you and Zalara both like, you want to go hit something? Unfortunately, as you go kind of like back up to the warden's quarters, Taverin's not around, Burn is not around, and you're somewhat listless throughout the evening. Roll me a 1d5. You want a 5. You talk with a couple people here or there, very close. You talk to a couple people here or there, and there are other Wardens of the Moon that you recognize and that recognize you, but you're this kind of like out of pocket. You're one of them, but not one of them type situations. We've discussed this before, right? Like you're
around.
Yeah, you're not around. So like they're willing to train with you and talk with you and things like that, but there's not that connection necessarily. There's not that kind of like sense of belonging. You can attempt to foster it if you want.
Oof. Like, as tempting as that is, I don't think that's a good idea, knowing that I'm just gonna jump back down the fucking hole for a while.
Up to you. I want you, Jay, as the person to know that Ashes could try to foster these relationships if he so chose. But is that something that Ashes would really do, you know?
Yeah, no, I think that that could just pretty much lend a, horror relationships ultimately. This is
I find that pretty quintessential to the teachings of the Order. Maybe not the teachings of the Wardens, but the teachings of the Order, that connections are valuable, but they are also painful and can lead you down uncomfortable and unnecessary paths that get complicated. So instead of finding Taverin or finding Burn or making new friends, Ashes spends a little bit of the rest of his time just training quietly within the Warden's quarters.
They're a DPS dummy.
Yeah, basically doing the DPS dummy thing.
Right.
I need everyone to roll me a Wisdom saving throw and a Constitution saving throw. Ezra, are you going back to the Yawning Portal?
Ooh.
Ooh! Oh, God!
Oh, boy.
Less than ideal.
That's the best con save I've ever made.
That's pretty good. Pretty good. Alright, so Bones, Wisdom 20, Con 5. Ashes, Wisdom 8. And Con 19. Matashtai, Wisdom 9 and Constitution 20. Ezrah, Wisdom 10 and Constitution 22.
Everyone ends up at the Yawning Portal.
Everyone finds themselves in bed at the Troll
with
Skull.
a dome over his head.
At the Troll Skull Manor. Ezra with the dome under his head. But Bones is awakened by a shaking sound, a rattling sound in the night. Bones, you're in your hammock. You hear this sound. Your eyes flutter awaken. Your natural defensives, your senses alight, right? You're ready to move. And you just hear this shaking, almost like a maraca in the far corner of your room.
Side eye. That moving.
Roll me a perception check. DC 23.
I think I actually can fail that.
Ooh.
I did. Wow.
And you did. You see just darkness in the corner of the room, but you hear from that corner this shaking. Shh, 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 shh. Shh, 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 shh.
All right.
I say maraca. It's really not a maraca. It's more like you've heard the kind of like water tubes, right? You know, the rainmakers, right? Like those types of scenarios, right? It's more like that, but it's not the same. It's close, but it's not the same.
Okay.
It's rhythmic and it's disconcerting.
I know, I'm disconcerted already. I'm disconcerted. I will I'm gonna have dark, can't see it. I will toss a water skin over there.
I imagine there's just a shelf to the left of Bones, and it's just got like dagger, water skin, dagger, like nudie magazine, like Fur Paws Monthly or something like that, right? Like
Fur Paws Monthly.
Like I don't know. Look, but just grab the water skin, woof, huck it over in the corner. Roll me a d20. I think you want to roll an 11 or higher.
I rolled a 16.
16. You throw the water skin, and as it hurtles, almost kind of like slow motion through the air into the corner, you see this massive shape out of the darkness of the corner and strike into the water skin, obliterating it, right? You see like this shadowy form hits it, and the water skin is frozen in air. Water shoots everywhere. The skin is basically ripped to shreds in the air. And you hear this shriek that hits your skull like a freight train. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
13. Because I do have advantage.
Your reaction is one of trying to mitigate. You instinctually like roll, you clutch your hands to your ears to try to dampen the screeching, horrible screeching sound that wails out from this thing. And your movement spins the hammock, and you kind of whirl, and tumped onto the ground with a thud. You feel a trickle of blood out of your ears and your nostrils as you're unable to mitigate the shriek, to dampen the sound enough for it to not hit you like a freight train. And you look over, and you have dark vision. You can see every corner of this room, right? And the corner where you had sensed the presence, sensed the sound, tossed the water skin, is now empty. This shadow of darkness, this cloak of darkness, no longer there, right? But as you look there, right, and you find yourself lying on the ground, you feel the blood running down your nose, running out of your ears, and you hear the shaking sound again, and you have this brief flashback. You again remember, right, like the rattling of the mind viper from Maztica, right? Like, and you feel this kind of like reminiscence from this thing, and you look and you see on like your cheek on the floor, the wood floor of your room, blood pooling out of your nose and your ears. You see Serpent's Fang clutched in your left hand.
Dang. I'm buried in the wood floor.
Roll me an attack with Serpent's Fang.
Say not today.
Okay, 18. Yeah, it buries deep into the wood floor, not quite to the hilt, but halfway up or more on the blade. Buries into the wood, and you wrench your hand away from it, and I love that music bit. Thanks for the raid. We're in a moment, but we're close to being done. You wrench your hand free, Bones, and there is this kind of like feeling that washes over you. The blood that's coming out of your nose and out of your ears, kind of like it stops, right? You stop bleeding, and you look at the Serpent's Fang buried in the wood in front of you, and you hear that rattling noise again, and you feel that kind of like presence, that unholy, horrendous presence, and you realize, right, that you haven't heard anything other than the shaking, right, of that kind of like rattlesnake tail, except for the pounding of your heart, which is still kind of like thundering in your ears, and you feel like you're kind of like you're coming off of this, your hand retracts and the pounding starts to lessen. And you're just looking at the serpent's fang. Do you do anything else?
No.
Okay.
I'll leave it there for now.
Okay.
Only for now.
You try to go back to sleep? Do you leave the room?
No, I just try and go back to sleep. I
Okay.
check myself for wounds. Wipe the blood off me.
You are able to wipe the blood off you easily enough. The left side of your room is drenched in water from this spray of a half-empty water skin, which you can see has been obliterated, right? Whatever was here was real enough to destroy this water skin that you threw into the corner. You have no external or internal wounds as far as you can tell. You do have a splitting headache, but you're able to wipe the blood off of your ears and nose, and go back to sleep.
All right. I sleep.
Matashtai. I realize it is 10:28. It is very late. We're past our normal end time, but I'm going to try to squeeze this in real quick. Matashtai. You have been back alive. This is your third night, I believe? Or is this your second night?
This would be the third, I think.
So were you at a -3 or were you at a -2?
So I remember doing the -3. I can't remember if we did the -2.
I think tonight takes you to a -2, right?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
Sure.
So that means the night before took you to a -3, and the night before was your first.
No. The holiday was -3.
The holiday was -3.
So
Today would
have we
have
been
been
up for
-2.
2 nights?
Yes, because we came up
this
the
is
day
the
before
second
the
night
holiday.
that you guys have been up.
Then I would be at -2 now.
Okay, so
Today,
you're at
so,
-2
yep.
now. Okay, gotcha. So it has been two times. This is the second time that you have slept since having lost Valena. And I say that when I say having lost Valena, for clarity, you still feel, Matashtai still feels the connection to Valena, right? You still feel a presence, but she's not there, right? It's all the hallmarks of a person who lives in a home, but just isn't in that home, right? Her lack of being there. I'm not gonna make the decision for Matashtai, right? But I do think that there is probably a great impact to Matashtai's psyche and his feeling of confidence and his feeling of self, suddenly having this secondary entity that was always with him, whether she was speaking to him or not, her presence was always there, powerful, reassuring, felt, right? Gone, ripped away. But each night passes is a different feeling. You feel your strength returning, which is good. It's important. You can feel both your physicality, but also your awareness, your responsiveness, right? Like coming back to you from the magics that kind of like sapped your vitality when it came to the resurrection, right? But also, each night that passes, that connection, that feeling where Valena once was feels a little smaller each time. Like the space that she took once upon a time within you, within the both of you, right? Each day that passes without her, your being looks at this hole within you, acknowledges it, and is trying to make it smaller.
Hey.
That's a feeling that Matashtai has as he dreams or doesn't through this night.
Interestingly enough, if he dreams, it's the first time he's ever dreamed, because Halaster don't dream.
That's a good point. This is the second time Matashtai has ever slept. Technically not being a Halaster since your youth, right? Technically, I guess you were. But does Matashtai dream at this point?
I don't know, Jeremy. Tell me.
I did not know that Halaster did not dream.
Do
Nope,
aliens dream, Mitchell?
Do aliens dream of electric sheep?
No, because the good quarry cut them off from the dream realm, so they can't be impacted by.
They can't be influenced or corrupted by the quarry, by the denizens of Dalcor.
Are you getting corrupted now? Oh shit, bitch!
Matashtai, roll me a D20. You want to roll above a 5.
Oh, you could have done something fun like roll a D36.
Hold my beer.
And
All right.
I'm going to say this expressly. Now that we've set this in motion, every night that this continues, this DC is going to increase.
Oh, great.
And I think that's a pretty good place for us to go ahead and end tonight's session. As another day passes in the city of Waterdeep, Alturic the First, our party moves towards this goal, this idea of gathering themselves, gathering their allies, both for the purposes of heading towards the region of dreams, Dalcor, in order to find Valena, but also the aftermath of that, which is the war against House Avrindar. So, we'll see what the fuck resolves next with... There's actually a lot of shit going on. I feel like for a downtime activity, a lot of fucking shit happened, and I'm really skeeved out about Matashtai Bones now. Ezra and Ashes aren't like having anything crazy happening, but goddamn. Okay. Anyways, that's going to be the end of tonight's session. Thanks for hanging out. I will raid out. We've got a bunch of people here right now. Thanks for hanging out, everyone who's watching. I appreciate you. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you very much, Galactic Baron, for the raid. Let me give you a shout out real quick. We are going to head out. We'll raid out so that everyone can have a nice home to go to. But that is going to be the end of tonight's session. We will be back next week for more Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.